What's up guys, this is the Honest Outlaw here, and today we're going to be doing a full review on the Sig Sauer P320. As you can see there, this is the box, this is what it comes with. It comes with something that apparently I lost. 2 magazines, outside the waistband holster, and all your normal stuff. So let's take it out here and take a look at it real quick. As you can see there, this is a bit of a Franken gun, but I'll tell you why here in a second. Okay, so the Sig P320, this is the compact version with the full-size slide on it. And this gun is about 5.3 inches tall, 1.4 inches in width, and 25.8 inches, and 25.8 ounces for the compact, and 29 ounces for the full size. It would be good for concealed carry. It'd be okay at that. It wouldn't be my first choice. It would be good for home defense, so it would be a great choice for it. But the best role for it is probably just a good all-around pistol. Like, this size is very similar to the size of the Glock 19, as you can see there. And it's just an all-around good size for everything. It's good at concealed carry, but not great. It's good at home defense, but you could use a bigger gun. It's a decent truck gun, you know. Good at most things, but not amazing at everything. And there's also a full-size model of this. This gun actually comes in 4 different configurations from the factory. It comes in the full size, which is this size of slide with a longer frame. It comes with the carry model, which is a shorter slide with the longer frame. It comes with the compact version, which is this grip module with about this much slide, and then there's the subcompact model, which is about your Glock 26 size. And one of the really original, I think kind of unique features to this gun compared to a lot of its other counterparts, like the M&P or the Glock 19, for example, which is probably its 2 biggest competitors, is going to be the fact that it doesn't actually, the frame itself isn't actually the firearm like on traditional pistols. It actually has a removable fire control unit in there. So when you break this down, it's kind of sitting right above the trigger there. And if you take that out, that's basically your firearm. So what that allows you to do is, you know, you can always buy slides traditionally for firearms, but it's rather difficult to get a frame because it's, you know, since it's the firearm, you have to get an FFL, you have to have it transferred, it's typically more expensive. Well, what Sig has done with the fire control unit is now, since the frame is in the firearm, it's just a piece of plastic. So you can get a new frame for your firearm for about 46 bucks on their website, which is pretty impressive, I'd have to say. One of the downsides to it, however, is unlike the backstrap system that Glock has and that M&P has, they don't come with it. So if you get this grip, you're stuck with this grip until you decide to buy the larger or smaller or longer or shorter grip module from Sig. You can't just install a grip panel and make the grip bigger yourself. So the downsides of it is that it doesn't come with the gun, and the other downside is that you have to pay for it. But it's still a cool little thing that you can choose to use if you want. Another thing that comes with the whole modular Lego design of this firearm is caliber conversions, because every gun needs a caliber conversion these days. You know, from the Sig MCX to any other gun you can think of, for some reason everybody needs to convert calibers. I don't do that personally. If I'm going to spend $400, which is what the caliber conversion is for this firearm, I'll just spend $450 and buy a whole new gun and not have to worry about the process at all. So that's my opinion on the caliber conversions, although I do think the grip module, slides, and all that stuff is pretty cool. I like the idea of being able to take apart and put your gun back together to a different gun. I just wouldn't change the caliber. For example, for this gun, for example, if I wanted to buy a full-size frame for it, I could take it off and swap out relatively easily for 46 bucks, and I could have a good competition gun out of this firearm. And then if I wanted to carry it, since the only dimension that since the biggest dimension that matters in carry is usually the grip length, I could throw this grip module on there and carry it a little bit easier. As far as reliability goes, reliability was 100% with this pistol. So I have about 500 or 600 rounds through this pistol, and I didn't shoot it and thrash it too much because I'm actually borrowing this gun from Johnson's Guns and More. They're letting me test this gun for review, which is really nice of them because it's kind of hard to buy a bunch of different guns for the review. So if I can borrow or rent a gun for a review and still shoot a good amount through it, I can still give you my honest opinion of it without having to go through all the financial woes of actually buying all these firearms. So big thanks to Johnson Guns and More for letting me borrow this for the review. So it was amazing for the 500 or 600 rounds I had it. I didn't really thrash on it a great deal, again, because it was a loaner gun. But I think it would hold up well. It's the same or better build quality than the M&P and the Glock, so I think it'll be just fine. I shot a multitude of different ammunition out of it. I shot my normal Freedom munitions. I shot this Winchester. I shot Winchester white box, and I shot some jacketed hollow points. And again, functioned fantastic. Along with that, the track record for Sig is also amazing between the 226 and all the other amazing guns Sig has made. They have a good track record for making reliable, durable pistols, and they have a good track record for customer service in case something goes wrong. They'll be able to fix it for you pretty quick. Other than the caliber conversions, which are 46 bucks, or sorry, 400 bucks, and the grip modules, which are 46 bucks, the total price of this firearm, I was looking up on Gunbroker, is about $500 to about $650 for the TAC Ops version of this, which has a threaded barrel and some other stuff. I didn't really look it up, but it's an advanced version of this gun. The barrel, they sell extra barrels for it. They were $189. They had different sights for it. The X-ray sights, those actually look really cool. They were kind of a blacked out rear with a front HD like these, sort of, but it was kind of a really bright neon green color. That looked kind of cool. They were 160 bucks, and I was looking to see slides because if I decided I wanted to buy this gun, maybe this exact gun, let's say, I'd like to get a shorter slide and maybe a longer slide for this gun since I already have the shorter frame. I did not see the slides available, so I couldn't find the prices because they were all out of stock everywhere I looked. Along with this gun being very modular, you can change the slide release over to the left side or have an ambi one if you want, which is really, really cool. You can also change the magazine release over to the left side if you want to, which makes this gun ideal for left-hand shooters. So that's a pretty neat feature by Sig as well. For me, one of the main selling points of this gun was the trigger. This is basically a striker-fired Sig P320, and I know a lot of people complain about the trigger on that. I don't know, I have no experience on that gun. But as far as this goes, I saw some other reviews for this firearm, and they said the trigger was okay. I thought the trigger for this gun was phenomenal. Now, again, I shot it along with the FMK, and that gun has kind of a shitty trigger. But this trigger, in my opinion, was fantastic. As you can see there, the front slide serrations are also pretty awesome. As you can see there is almost no over travel. Bang. And the reset is also extremely awesome. And when I say awesome, I really mean awesome. This gun has a better trigger stock than this Glock has. And this has a custom trigger in it with a custom trigger connector, and this trigger is still significantly better. So I'm saying, yeah, this is probably my favorite polymer. This is probably my favorite trigger in any polymer gun I've fired, except for maybe the PPQ. I'd have to fire the PPQ next to it to decide which one's better, but again, the trigger's really, really awesome. And that aids in accuracy. This is one of the most accurate polymer pistols that I've fired. I had no issues hitting at distance with this pistol and shooting small groups with it, because of the trigger and because of the really reasonable factory sights. This gun's extremely accurate right out of the box. As far as ergos go, one thing that I really want to knock down on this pistol is this this bore axis situation here. I really don't like the fact that the bore axis is so unbelievably high. And it is really high, too. It's even higher than the Sig P320. It's significantly higher than the Glock, as you can see there. which not only does that bother the bore axis itself, but it actually makes the pistol taller, as you can see there. So one of the issues with that is, again, is the hardest thing to conceal when you're carrying the gun is grip. So if this gun carries 15 rounds and this gun carries 15 rounds and the grip is half an inch shorter, well, that's a big win for the Glock 19. So along with that bore axis making the recoil a little bit more snappy, it also makes the overall package a little bit longer and harder to conceal. Getting down to the grip grip is pretty good. It's pretty ergonomic. It's a little more rounder than the Glock. The Glock has kind of a 2x4-ish grip to it, but honestly, I like the idea of having the grip panels. That way you can customize it, because I think the grip is a little bit small for me, and I don't want to go out and buy another grip module just to make it a little bit bigger, so I just live with it. I also think it could use a little bit more texture as well, but I like the undercut on the trigger a little bit better than the Glock. You can see there I had to undercut that with a Dremel, because unlike the Glock, the Sig doesn't really bother your middle knuckle quite as much. The Sig comes with 2 mags out of the box. I really think most guns honestly should come with 3 or even 4. I wouldn't even mind if they hiked up the price just to come with 3 or 4 mags. I really like running a gun with more than 2 mags. So please at least add a mag to it, Sig, please. Some of the problems that I had that I want to go over again really quick is the grip. I didn't like the bore axis at all. That was one of the big contributors to me not absolutely loving this gun. I thought the grip could use more texture, but it wasn't too bad. And the height, the overall height, I wish was smaller for the capacity that it has. But other than that, that is really it. This is a pretty phenomenal pistol. I was really surprised I would like this pistol as much as I did, because traditionally I don't really like SIGs because I don't like that high bore axis. Most SIGs come with that high bore axis, and they usually have an excuse of being double or single action. But I just hate that, and I hate how it feels, how much gun is above your hand when you're trying to shoot. However, SIG got everything else that you could possibly get right on a polymer pistol, right on this gun, besides maybe the width. But again, SIGs are always very chunky. That's another dimension that's really important when it comes to carry. So with the height and the width problems of this gun, I would not carry it concealed personally. But if you can get over those, faults of the gun, then absolutely carry it, because everything else is fantastic. The trigger's fantastic. The ergos are pretty fantastic, aside from the bore axis, because the grip angle is pretty good. The sights are great. The build quality is great. Reliability is great. If you can get over the bore axis, Sig 320, a big win. Thanks, guys. This has been the Honest Outlaw's quick review of the Sig P320. If you like the review, please like, subscribe, and share. It'll really help me out. Please help out your local homeless shelters. Remember to recycle. Check you later.